Within the crowded field of biopharmaceutical research and development, a subtle but significant realignment is underway. Major pharma and biotech companies are making strategic moves to shift their portfolios away from the highly competitive and saturated pipelines in oncology and immuno-oncology I/O. Instead, they're placing renewed emphasis on anti-infectives. This realignment is exemplified by companies such as Sanofi and GSK, who now maintain approximately 90 anti-infective programs compared to 37 in oncology. This report presents our analysis of the top 10 high-value anti-infective assets poised for commercialization between 2025 and 2027. These assets hold significant promise for addressing critical unmet medical needs, offering substantial market potential and reflecting the industry's evolving focus on this crucial therapeutic area. By examining these leading-edge anti-infective therapies, we aim to provide insights into the innovative solutions being developed to combat infectious diseases, ultimately contributing to the advancement of global healthcare. But before diving into the report, let's start with a brief overview of the factors driving the shift towards anti-infectives. Firstly, there's a growing awareness of the global health threat posed by antimicrobial resistance (AMR). As drug-resistant pathogens continue to emerge and spread, the need for novel antibiotics and anti-infectives becomes increasingly urgent. Secondly, the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the vulnerability of global health systems to infectious diseases, underscoring the importance of robust anti-infective pipelines. Moreover, new regulatory frameworks offer attractive commercial incentives for antibiotic development. For instance, the FDA's Generating Antibiotic Incentives Now Gain Act provides significant market and development advantages for qualifying drugs. Finally, the expanding market opportunity in anti-infectives is enticing pharma companies to reallocate resources. With the global anti-infectives market expected to grow from roughly $151.8 billion in 2023 to over $231.3 billion by 2030. This therapeutic area is poised for renewed investment and innovation. Now, let's dive into our top 10 high-value anti-infective assets. Number 10. 𝗣𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗠𝗔. 𝗣𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗠𝗔 is a broad-spectrum antibiotic indicated for the treatment of carbapenem-resistant gram-negative infections, including complicated urinary tract infections, complicated intra-abdominal infections, pneumonia, and acute pyelonephritis. It's a siderophore cephalosporin antibiotic that inhibits bacterial cell wall synthesis by binding to penicillin-binding proteins. Key features include high MDR coverage, efficacy against multi-drug-resistant MDR gram-negative pathogens, and convenient once-daily dosing. In terms of stage and value, 𝗣𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗠𝗔 has been approved in multiple countries, including Japan in 2019 and the US in 2022. Its estimated economic forecast ranges from $1.5 billion to $2.2 billion. The top competitor for 𝗣𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗠𝗔 is meropenem, a carbapenem antibiotic. However, 𝗣𝗧𝗔𝗥𝗠𝗔 offers distinct advantages, including broader spectrum of activity against MDR gram-negative pathogens. Other notable competitors include colistin, polymyxin E1, and fosfomycin. Number 9. 𝗫𝗓𝗓-𝗓-avibactam, Pfizer, AbbVie. A combination of 𝗫𝗓𝗓 and avibactam, 𝗫𝗓𝗓 is a broad-spectrum antibiotic indicated for the treatment of complicated urinary tract infections, including acute and chronic pyelonephritis and acute and chronic prostatitis. It's a third-generation cephalosporin and beta-lactamase inhibitor designed to combat the rise of drug-resistant bacteria. Key features include targeting metallo-beta-lactamases (MBALs) and expanded-spectrum beta-lactamases (ESBALs), offering synergy when used together and providing once-daily dosing. In terms of stage and value, 𝗫𝗓𝗓 was approved in the EU in 2024 and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $1.2 billion to $1.8 billion. The top competitor is 𝗪𝗡𝗔𝗓, avibactam, another combination of a cephalosporin and beta-lactamase inhibitor. However, 𝗦𝗡𝗡𝗏 offers unique advantages in terms of pharmacokinetics and pharmacodynamics. Notably, 𝗦𝗡𝗡𝗏 exhibits better penetration into prostate tissue compared to its competitor, making it a more effective choice for treating prostatitis. Number 8. 𝗬𝗧𝗜𝗓-𝗏𝗡𝗚 Pfizer, AstraZeneca. 𝗬𝗧𝗜𝗓-𝗏𝗡𝗚 is a combination of a third-generation cephalosporin and a 𝗤-lactamase inhibitor indicated for the treatment of complicated intra-abdominal infections and complicated urinary tract infections, including pyelonephritis and acute bacterial prostatitis. It targets both 𝗔𝗡𝗧 and anti-infectives, addressing the growing challenge of multi-drug-resistant bacteria. Key features include once-daily dosing and compatibility with various administration routes. In terms of stage and value, it has been approved in the US and EU and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $1 billion to $1.5 billion. The top competitor is meropenem, a carbapenem antibiotic. However, 𝗬𝗧𝗜𝗓-𝗏𝗡𝗚 demonstrates comparable efficacy while offering advantages in terms of side effect profile and once-daily dosing. Other competitors include imipenem, cilastatin, and ertapenem. Number 7. 𝗤𝗔𝗡𝗧𝗜𝗏 Pfizer. 𝗤𝗔𝗡𝗧𝗜𝗏 is a broad-spectrum antibiotic indicated for the treatment of complicated skin and skin structure infections, complicated intra-abdominal infections, and pneumonia caused by susceptible gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria, including those producing beta-lactamases. It's a tetracycline antibiotic that inhibits protein synthesis in bacteria, offering potent activity against MDR pathogens. Key features include broad-spectrum activity, high genetic stability, and once-daily dosing. 𝗤𝗔𝗡𝗏 has been approved and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $800 million to $1.2 billion. The top competitors are linezolid, a synthetic oxazolidinone antibiotic, and daptomycin, a lipopeptide antibiotic. However, 𝗤𝗔𝗡𝗏 offers distinct advantages, particularly in its activity against gram-negative pathogens and its ability to penetrate biofilms. No. 6. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 treatment of hospital-acquired pneumonia, including ventilator-associated pneumonia, and acute bacterial skin and skin structure infections. It is a fifth-generation cephalosporin that inhibits bacterial cell wall synthesis and displays potent activity against gram-positive and gram-negative pathogens, including MRSA and Streptococcus pneumoniae. Key features include once-daily dosing, favorable safety profile, and activity against penicillin-resistant strains. Currently, ceftobiprole has completed phase 3 trials and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $600 million to $900 million. The top competitors are cefaroline, a fifth-generation cephalosporin, and linezolid, a synthetic oxazolidinone. However, ceftobiprole demonstrates superior activity against penicillin-resistant strains of Streptococcus pneumoniae, making it a valuable therapeutic option. Number 5. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 Therapeutics. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a long-acting glycopeptide antibiotic indicated for the treatment of acute bacterial skin and soft tissue infections caused by susceptible gram-positive bacteria, including methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus MRSA. It's a lipoglycopeptide that binds to the D-alanine terminus of peptidoglycan precursors, inhibiting cell wall synthesis. Key features include once every 6-hour dosing, extended half-life, and activity against vancomycin intermediate and resistant enterococci. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been approved and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $500 million to $800 million. The top competitors are vancomycin and linezolid. However, 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 offers advantages in terms of dosing frequency and efficacy against certain gram-positive pathogens. No. 4. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏, the medicines company. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a long-acting glycopeptide antibiotic indicated for the treatment of acute bacterial skin and soft tissue infections, including those caused by methicillin-susceptible and methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus MRSA, as well as penicillin and vancomycin-resistant 𝗤𝗏𝗏 and Bacillus anthracis. It binds to the D-alanine terminus of peptidoglycan precursors, inhibiting cell wall synthesis. Key features include once-weekly dosing, broad-spectrum activity against gram-positive pathogens, and efficacy against vancomycin-resistant 𝗤𝗏𝗏. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been approved and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $400 million to $700 million. The top competitors are vancomycin and daptomycin. However, 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏's extended half-life allows for once-weekly dosing, and it also demonstrates activity against VRE, which can be challenging to treat with other antibiotics. Number 3. Plasmicin acaleogen. Plasmicin is a novel aminoglycoside antibiotic indicated for the treatment of uncomplicated and complicated urinary tract infections caused by susceptible isolates of enterobacterias, including Escherichia coli, Klebsiella pneumonia, Proteus mirabilis, and Enterobacter species. It inhibits protein synthesis in bacteria by binding to the 3-OS-ribosomal subunit and has a unique mechanism of action that reduces the potential for resistance development. Plasmicin has been approved in the US and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $300 million to $500 million. The top competitors are gentamicin and amikacin, other aminoglycoside antibiotics. However, plasmicin exhibits improved pharmacokinetic properties and a more favorable safety profile. While not directly targeting MD or pathogens, plasmicin's activity against Enterobacterias, a common cause of urinary tract infections, makes it a valuable addition to the anti-infective arsenal. No. 2. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 therapeutics. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is a fourth-generation fluoroquinolone antibiotic indicated for the treatment of acute bacterial skin and soft tissue infections and community-acquired pneumonia caused by susceptible bacteria, including MRSA. It inhibits bacterial DNA gyrase and topoisomerase 4, enzymes essential for bacterial DNA replication and repair. Key features include broad-spectrum activity, including MRSA, good oral bioavailability, and once-daily dosing. 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 has been approved in the US and EU and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $250 million to $400 million. The top competitor is levofloxacin, another fluoroquinolone antibiotic. However, 𝗤𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 offers advantages in terms of its potency against MRSA and its pharmacokinetic properties. No. 1. Lefamulin/Nabreva therapeutics. Lefamulin is a novel pleuromucilin antibiotic indicated for the treatment of community-acquired pneumonia and acute bacterial skin and soft tissue infections caused by susceptible gram-positive bacteria, including Streptococcus pneumonia, Staphylococcus aureus, including MRSA, and Enterococcus faecalis and faecium. It inhibits bacterial protein synthesis by binding to the 5-OS-ribosomal subunit. Key features include gram-positive focused activity, once-daily dosing, and a novel mechanism of action with limited cross-resistance to other antibiotics. Lefamulin has been approved in the US and EU and has an estimated economic forecast ranging from $200 million to $350 million. The top competitor is azithromycin, a macrolide antibiotic. However, lefamulin offers advantages in terms of its spectrum of activity, dosing, and safety profile. Furthermore, it's essential to highlight a strategic insight derived from our analysis, namely the FDA's Generating Antibiotic Incentives Now GAIN Act, signed into law in 2016. The GAIN Act aims to incentivize the development of new antibiotics. Under this act, qualifying drugs receive 5 additional years of market exclusivity, fast-track designation, and priority review. These incentives mitigate risk and enhance the commercial outlook of anti-infective R&D, making them more attractive too.